here's the thing.
Gotta love him.
Yes, you got to love him. On the year, he's averaging a quiet 33, 12, and 5. I know the 12 means nothing to you, but it's relevant to his team.
You never gonna live that
over
down.
his last 7, by the way, it's 40, 14, and 5 on 56%.
Not bad.
But here's what makes Giannis the clear-cut best player in the league. And it's also, by the way, what makes Luka the clear-cut second best player. They're the only two guys that can keep their team at or near the top of the conference without their second best guy. So KD and the Nets have been amazing. When Kyrie was out, they were a mess. A couple years ago, Steph didn't have Clay for a season. They missed the playoffs. Jokic last year didn't have Jamal Murray. They're out in round 1. LeBron right now doesn't have AD. And they're struggling to win half their games. But Paul George last year, no Kawhi. And he's not there. Now Kawhi's the best player, so maybe that's a little unfair, but you follow me.
Right.
Even the greatest players, when they don't have their wingman, the team struggles to just stay afloat. Not the Bucks. Chris Middleton's played 7 games, but really he's played none. As far as he hasn't been himself. And the Bucks are game out of first place.
Right.
And so that's what makes him so special. Drew Holiday's not having a great year. The rest of the roster is not unbelievable. And every night they can beat anybody because they have that guy. And even the other great players in the league, KD, Bron, Jokic, Steph, they can't do that. And he does it every night.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. It'd be interesting to see, if Kyrie went down right now. I think KD would keep them near the top of the East, but he's a guy I might throw in there. I'm going to address his boring quote because I think what he meant was commonplace, right? Routine. So when I go out and get 35, 16, and 7, it's routine. Patrick Mahomes suffers from this.
Sure.
Like you said, Mahomes is 3 touchdowns every game, it seems like, right? And people just brush it off. It's not a big deal.
To bring up Mahomes, that's not me.
I love Patrick Mahomes, right?
People, go ahead.
I was the first.
You were the guy.
He said he might be the GOAT one day.
That's true.
But anyway, here's the thing. He's already reached that. You said his numbers. Yeah. And we haven't been raving about Giannis.
No.
He's 33,
33, 12, and 5.
And
might be the best defender in the league.
Right. And he's fourth in the MVP discussion?
Correct.
So he's already reached it, but when you go get 55, you never reach a level where 55 isn't we're going to celebrate that, right? So that's the thing that Giannis, he's already reached, and he may have said it because he said, I think I've already got
stop.
No, I'm just saying for some guys you get 55
That's when he came back.
If
Giannis was retired playing baseball and he came back and had 55,
what do you mean?
It would probably be in the A block.
Yeah.
He did that the year he came back?
A year and a half.
Did they win the title that year?
Any
I was just confused.
All
Wait,
right.
so he
a year and a half on the
Dynasty.
Dynasty. Hadn't picked up a ball.
I mean, yeah.
A year and a half.
Okay, sorry.
Those get the double nickel.
All right, here's the other.
Double
I'll show you.
nickel.
That was ridiculous. You're throwing us off. 50-point games this season. There's been a lot of them. Most in how many decades, Josh? 5 decades.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting Booker on there, too. You just
that was nice of you.
What do you mean, thanks?
Yesterday you made a 71
You purposely made a graphic that would eliminate
I said
Devin
71.
Yeah, that makes
You
a lot
score
of sense.
70 in a loss and you're celebrating? Give me a break.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 70 points.
In a loss? And you're having a party? God, you got to be kidding me.
Okay.
Hey, I lost, everybody.
Take 70. Okay. All right, it's 70.
Lost
Not
the game.
30.
Hey, everybody. They're celebrating on a loss.
I work with buffoons. Guys, that game happened 4 years ago.
What did they change?
Wilder won't let it go.
What are you arguing about? Can you ask the
Put
question?
the graphic back up because we got lost, Tubbs. I'm
We
sorry.
didn't get lost.
Drew, do you have a reason or an explanation for this recent offensive explosion? Thank you.
I got 4. And what you're saying is we got this. Yeah, 50-point games are becoming, dare I say, commonplace. I mean, that might be a little strong.
Okay.
But number 1, the prominence of the three-point shot,
doubt.
obviously.
Doesn't explain Giannis last night, but for almost everybody else.
Luka and Jason Tatum, who are 2 of the guys averaging 30 this year, almost half their shots are worth 3 points.
Sure.
So you're going to see guys scoring more because they shoot some. Steph, more than half his shots are threes. All right. Secondly, the mid-range game Durant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they give you the mid-range shot now. Like teams, people, executives think that's the worst shot in basketball. They want to protect the paint and run you off the three-point line. So I've seen guys dribble in, have an open mid-range, and dribble back out to the three or kick it back out to three. And so even if they're contested, they're lightly contested. So Kevin Durant, the defense he faced on mid-range jumpers early in his career versus now, even if they get a little hand, that's a big part of it. And the third thing is that because the floor is so spread out with the three-point shot, it's easy to get to the rim. And again, they're running you off the three. And then when you get to the rim, even though teams want to protect the paint, there's like only a couple guys in there. You look back in the day, there were 6, 7 guys. And I'm not even like 6, 7 guys in the paint.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a post-up player, one post-up guy, we say, oh, he's clogging up the paint.
Get him out of there.
It's easy. Hold on. The final thing is Luka, Giannis, and Jokic, arguably the 3 best players in the league, are saying, they have said recently, it is easier to score in the NBA than it is in EuroLeague.
Yeah, but they were all playing in EuroLeague as teams. So that might be a bit of
but they've compared it to like the international play recently since they've been in the NBA.
But you did stumble upon the reason. Because it's obviously the three-point shot's a huge part of it. But the other part of it is the players are better and the league is better.
Really?
Because back in previous eras, we weren't getting MVP candidates from Serbia, Slovenia, and Greece.
We had the best players in the world, though. They didn't have any players that could compete like that.
It is truly an international game where the talent is the highest it's ever been. Because here's a fun fact. I would argue the league, as far as overflowing with talent, right now is rivaled only by the 80s in modern basketball history, once the ABA folded. Only by the 80s. This is, the last couple of years are the highest scoring years since 1985. So like, scoring went down in the 90s. Yes, the rules changed, but also the talent was watered down.
Was it talent or was it, like you said, the rules changed? And the defense was stiffer.
Yeah, and it was more physical. I'm not saying that's better, but it was mythological than otherwise. Because the 80s, was even more physical, I was told. But the 80s, the scoring was higher.
It wasn't. The defense in the 80s was not as good as the 90s.
Okay, or the offense just overwhelmed it. We can agree to disagree on that. We have not seen scoring on this level ever since the 60s, and that was almost a different sport back then. Right now, the league is averaging 113 points a game. 1985, it was 111. 1962, the year Wilt averaged 50, it was 119 points per game. So that was totally different. But I think that there is a rush. The three-point shot has a massive part to do with it. But I also think people, for some reason, look at this as a negative rather than a positive. I think often
the big games, the big individual.
Yeah, I think people use it as like, it's easier to score, like you're saying. They don't play as good a defense, as opposed to the guys are better. In the NFL, scoring is up because they've changed the rules and the game's changed, all of that. You also know why. Because the guys today are better. The quarterbacks are better.
What makes these guys better today?
They are bigger, they are stronger, they are faster. The game is more, bigger? It has smarter. Yes, bigger.
I don't think they're bigger. Yeah. You don't have nearly as many big men as you used to have.
No, you don't have as many guys that
they shoot better or with range.
I understand. You don't have as many guys that are out there as hockey bruisers, but you have guys that are 6'10" and skilled. Look at this play right there. That's perfect. I didn't even ask for that. That is a 7'4" guy from, where's he from? Latvia in Porzingis, getting mixed by a 6'11" guy from Greece. Neither plays center. That is a different breed of player that did not exist previously. And the three-point shot and the smarter basketball, which leads to smarter shots. All of that is going to lead to bigger scoring nights.
Okay. Brew, do you think the pendulum swings back with like tougher defense? That someone's like, you know what,
you still have to play tough defense.
Slow down.
It'll never get as physical as it used to be, and that's fine. I don't want it to be that physical. But no, I think where we're at is kind of here to stay.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.